Hello and welcome back to Will It Work? The PS5 and the PS4 are notorious for not being able to play CDs of any kind in their Blu-ray drives. This is especially odd when you consider that Sony's own home Blu-ray players and the Blu-ray drives in Xbox consoles play CDs just fine. Sony has intentionally nerfed CD support on the PS5. Today, let's see if we can figure out a way to get some CD formats to play on the PlayStation 5. If you watched my last video on attempting to get the PS5 to burn data to DVD and Blu-ray discs, you'll know that these USB optical drives do not work on the PS5, regardless of the type of disc or format. These drives simply aren't seen by the PS5. So with the internal drive not an option and external USB drives not working, how in the world are we going to get the PS5 to play CDs? Long-term viewers of my channel may remember this particular Lite-On drive from a video I did a few years ago about getting CDs to work with the iPhone. On the surface, this drive looks just like a regular USB CD-DVD burner, but it has a very special feature. Lite-On calls it Link to TV, but I'm going to call it flash drive mode. It was designed in the last decade to help people play their burned CDs on a growing number of smart TVs that had USB ports and could play many multimedia files but lacked the support for USB optical drives. This Lite-On drive, when used with the flash drive mode, can make a CD appear as a read-only FAT32 flash drive that the TV could connect to and use. I was able to use this drive to get CDs working on the iPhone, so let's see if we can get them working on the PS5 as well. Okay, so the way flash drive mode works is you eject the tray, you hold down the eject button for a few seconds, the light will turn green, we're now in flash drive mode. Now I'm just going to take a fairly regular CDRW that I have MP3s, MPEG-4 videos, and JPEGs on, and we'll try this out. Hey, there's the USB tab. Let's go into the pictures folder. Yep, no problem there. Let's go into videos here. Yep, looking good. Let's go back out here and let's take a look at the MP3s. Music app sees the drive, and there they are. Yeah, there we go. All these features working perfectly. Okay, let's get even odder. What if you have a mini CDR with multimedia files on it? Not only would the PlayStation 5 not read this, it would be dangerous to put this inside the drive since it's slot loading and not designed for that, and it would get stuck in there. Let's try this out with this drive. USB tab. I have a different video of that Tron pinball game. Let's try that. Yep, looking good. Okay, so let's really get crazy. What if you have a business card CD? Have you ever seen one of these? They are tiny, only about 50 megabytes. Normally you'd have a label over the top of this with your company business on it, and on the CD you could put PDFs about the company or perhaps a small video. And obviously you would not want to stick a business card CD into the PlayStation 5, so let's try this one out. Here's USB tab. There's some photos. Let's play some MP3s off of it. Yep, no problem with business card CDs on the PlayStation 5. Okay, so what about retail, mass-produced press CDs? Well, the first thing I want to talk about is books on MP3 CDs. Now, the old books on CDs were several discs long, like 6 discs a lot of times. With the MP3 discs, they're only 1 because the files are a lot smaller. Unfortunately, while this disc will mount on the PS5 in this Lite-On drive, the PS5 is very peculiar about where these media files are. And for MP3s, they have to be in a folder called Music on the root of the disc for it to work in the Music app. You cannot go browsing for them like you could on the PS3, for instance. And obviously, the MP3 files in a book are not in a folder called Music. So unfortunately, this entire category will not work on the PlayStation 5. Now, the question you're probably wondering about is, what about good old-fashioned audio CDs? Will they work with this drive? And the answer, unfortunately, is no. It's designed for data CDs. However, there were a lot of CDs out in the late 90s and early 2000s that were called enhanced CDs. And they had a portion of their disc which was a data CD that you'd stick in your computer, and it might have a little QuickTime movie of their latest video. Unfortunately, from the heyday of enhanced CDs in the late 90s and early 2000s, the codecs used in those QuickTime movies like Sorensen and so forth are not supported by the PlayStation 5. It only plays MPEG-4s. So I thought, what if I went out a little bit further in time, like 2005 and further, when MPEG-4 really took over and even Apple was pushing it in QuickTime. And the problem is, when you get out that far, there's very few enhanced CDs. And most of them are very small data portion, and they have a little Mac program and a little Windows program that takes you out to a web page to look at the media, which isn't going to do us any good, and those web pages are defunct now anyway. But I did a lot of research. I tried to find some with actual files on them, and there were a few. Sometimes they were flash video. I did find a couple with MPEG-4s I want to talk about. This is from a group called Hidden in Plain View I've not heard of before, and it has a couple of MP4 videos on the disc, on the data portion of the enhanced CD. Unfortunately, they're not in the right format for the PlayStation 5 to recognize it. I don't even think they're H.264. They're like some very early version of MP4. So either way, it will mount the data portion of the disc, but it will not recognize those videos. Now, this next artist, I'm sure you've heard of, but if you get the 2010 Target version of Taylor Swift's Speak Now album, there's a second disc in there that's an enhanced CD. And it has a music video from her and also some interviews with her. And they are MPEG-4, H.264, everything looks great. But the problem is they have the .mov extension, which is a legitimate extension for MPEG-4 videos on computers. Windows, Mac, Linux, all that stuff, but the PlayStation 5 will not recognize .mov. It won't even list it. And to make matters worse, I actually copied the video onto a flash drive and changed the extension, and it still wouldn't play it. Something about the profile that was used when it was created is just outside the specs of the PS5. I'd have to run it through another encoder to get it to work, which obviously defeats the purpose of playing it on the disc. I really wanted to get a retail CD, something, anything, playing media for this video, but I bought a lot of these enhanced CDs and too many, and I just came up dry. This part has been a total failure. However, your own burn CDs work just fine. There's a couple of caveats. I told you about the MP3s have to be in a music folder. Maybe back in the day some people did put their MP3s in a music folder. It's not totally unreasonable. The videos and the photos also can't be in the root. They have to be in a folder, but the folder can be named anything. So as long as you have those in a folder, then you can pull up your JPEGs and you can pull up your MPEG-4 videos. So a partial success. We got some CDs working on the PlayStation 5. I will say this drive also works with DVD-ROMs that you burn as well. The PlayStation will play commercial DVD movies, but you can't just put in like one of your burned DVD discs and pull up your media off of it. It's the same as a CD, it just basically won't work. But in this drive, it will translate DVD-R and RW and all that into a read-only FAT32 flash drive as well. Basically, if it's formatted in ISO or UDF, you're good to go. So anyway, there is a guy right now on eBay that has a bunch of these drives for sale, new in box. So I'm going to put a link to the auction in the description down below. I don't know this guy, but I did buy one from him. I have a couple of these now. So if you're interested, you can go there. I think they're $23, which is pretty reasonable. But if you're watching this movie a year from now, the auction's probably long gone. But yeah, if you're interested, check it out. Anyway, that's going to do it for this video. As always, if you're enjoying this channel, please like and subscribe. I'll be back soon, but that's all for now. Take care.